Good morning, everyone. Today, we will be presenting an infographic poster based on the article titled Halal Branding and Trust Building, Lessons from Nestle Malaysia Crisis Management and Community Engagement by Nur Zahidah Jaafar 2025. This infographic focuses on how organization decision-making and problem-solving processes are applied in real-life management situations. Specifically, it highlights how Nestle Malaysia used structured decision-making models, crisis management strategies, and community engagement to protect consumer trust and strengthen its brand reputation in the halal industry. The infographic is divided into three main sections. First, key statistics and facts which show the scale and impact of Nestle Malaysia operation and halal branding. Second, a crisis management flowchart which illustrates the problem-solving and decision-making steps taken during the 2023 HFCE delisting crisis. Third, a conceptual model which explains how crisis management and community engagement work together to create halal trust and long-term consumer loyalty. Overall, this infographic demonstrates that effective organizational management is not only about making decisions during crisis, but also about building trust proactively through ethical practices, community involvement, and strategic leadership.
The central problem in this case is how organizations can protect consumer trust during a crisis while still building long-term loyalty. In the halal industry, issues like halal certification disputes, different global standards, and public scandals can reduce consumer confidence. In Nestle Malaysia's case, the HFCE delisting in 2023 created a risk to halal compliance and trust. This situation shows how easily trust can be affected if halal standards are unclear or inconsistent.
I will talk about the problem. First, halal certifications disputes. Difference in interpretations, recognition, or credibility among halal certifying bodies can create disputes. When a certifications body is questioned or the listed product previously considered halal may suddenly be disputes, causing confusions for company and consumers. Second, inconsistent global standards. There is no single universally accepted halal standard worldwide. Each country or authority applies different requirements, making it difficult for multinational companies to ensure consistent halal compliance across markets and increasing operational and regulatory risks. Thirdly, risk of trust erosion. Halal status is closely linked to religious obligation and ethical values. Any uncertainty, controversy, or misinformation related to halal compliance can quickly reduce consumer confidence, damaging brand reputation and long-term loyalty. Lastly, crisis vulnerability, HFCE, delisting 2023. The 2023 delisting of the Halal Food Council of Europe, HFCE, by Jakim exposed how companies relying on recognized certifiers can suddenly face halal compliance crises. This incident highlighted the industry vulnerability to regulatory changes and the need for strong crisis management and
This section of the infographic shows the problem-solving process used by the organization. First, the problem was identified. The HFCE delisting in 2023 created a risk to halal certification and consumer trust. Second, the organization collected information by checking regulations, auditing the supply chain, and identifying affected products and suppliers. Third, solutions were considered, such as changing halal certifiers, recertifying products, and working with regulators. Next, the best solution was implemented through audits, certification changes, and communication with authorities and stakeholders. Finally, the results were evaluated and trust was restored while operation continued smoothly. In simple terms, the organization followed a clear process, identify the problems, analyze it, choose a solution, act on it, and review the results. This shows that effective problem solving in organization must be structured, planned, and ethical, not rushing or emotional.
Now, I will move on to the decision-making process used in this case study. The first step is problem identification. Nestle Malaysia identified that the HFCE delisting posed a serious risk to halal compliance and consumer trust. Since halal integrity is closely linked to religious obligation, even a small uncertainty could significantly damage brand credibility and lead to loss of consumer confidence. Next is information gathering. At this stage, the company conducted thorough audits of suppliers, raw materials, and existing halal certifications. These steps was critical to verify whether the issue was procedural, supplier-related, or a documentation gap, and to ensure that all products continued to meet halal requirements. The third step is evaluation of alternatives. Nestle Malaysia considered multiple options such as switching halal certifiers, recertifying affected products, and engaging directly with regulators. Each alternative was assessed based on its impact on compliance, cost, speed of resolution, and also long-term trust. After that comes decision implementation. Once the best solution was selected, the company proceeded with recertification and supply chain adjustments. This involves aligning internal processes with updated halal standards and ensuring full regulatory compliance before products continued in the market. The fifth step is monitoring and feedback. Following implementation, Nestle closely monitored outcomes through regulatory feedback and consumer responses. This step ensured that corrective action were effective and that no further risks emerged. Finally, the decision-making process resulted in consumer trust recovery and also regulatory approval. Through transparent actions and structured decision-making, Nestle Malaysia was able to restore trust, reinforce its halal commitment, and also strengthen its relationship with both consumers and even authorities. Overall, this structured decision-making process highlights how clear evaluation, ethical responsibility, and regulatory engagement are very essential in managing halal-related crises.
Next is about proactive problem solving. First, halal school education and awareness. This program focuses on educating students about halal principles, healthy eating, and ethical value from a young age. By increasing awareness early, it helps build long-term understanding and trust in halal practices among future consumers and the wider community. Second, IKIM Halal Toyiban podcast. Transparency and knowledge sharing. The podcast provides open discussions on halal concepts, certification process, and halal lifestyle with experts. This initiative promotes transparency, corrects misconceptions, and strengthens public confidence through credible knowledge sharing. Thirdly, halal SME mentoring, industry development. Through mentoring and training, companies support small and medium enterprises in meeting halal standards, improving quality, and gaining certification. This strengthens the overall halal ecosystem and ensures supply chain integrity and rise industry-wide halal competence. Lastly, sustainable agriculture, ethical sourcing and trust. Sustainable farming initiative ensures raw materials are sourced ethically, safely, and responsibly. These practices align with halal and Toyiban principles, reinforcing consumer trust by showing commitment to quality, environmental care, and social responsibility.
Now I will explain about key statistics and facts. First key statistic, 84% of consumers prioritize halal certification. This shows that halal certification is not optional. For most consumers, especially Muslim, halal status strongly influences their trust and buying decision. If halal credibility is questioned, consumer confidence can drop immediately. Second key statistic, 2.5 million bowls of Maggi are consumed daily. This highlights how deeply Nestle products are part of daily life in Malaysia. Any halal issue does not affect a small group, but millions of consumers every single day. Third key statistic, 8 million cups of Milo are consumed daily. Milo is a household staple, especially for families and students. This shows that trust in halal branding support long-term brand loyalty across generations. Fourth key statistic, 8 million cups of Nescafe are consumed daily. This reflects strong daily dependence on Nestle products. Maintaining a halal integrity is crucial because consumers repeatedly choose this product as part of their routine. Lastly, Nestle Malaysia is ranked as top halal brand in Malaysia. This proves that strong halal governance, transparency, and crisis management help restore trust and protect brand reputation even during challenges. Overall, these statistics show that halal trust directly affect consumer loyalty, daily consumption, and brand survival. Effective crisis management is essential to protect that trust. Now, let's moving on to community engagement model. First stage, HFCE delisting. The issue starts when HFCE delisting happens, which raises public concern about halal compliance. This creates confusion and fear among consumers, especially regarding product safety and halal status. Second stage, immediate statement. Nestle Malaysia responds quickly by releasing an official statement. This step is important to control misinformation and show that the company takes the issue seriously and responsibly. Third stage, transparency and action. Nestle practices transparency by explaining the situation clearly to the public. At the same time, they take action such as reviewing suppliers, auditing processes, and working closely with halal authorities to resolve this issue. Final stage, trust restored. As a result of open communication and corrective actions, consumer confidence is gradually restored. The community feels reassured, and trust in the brand's halal integrity is strengthened again. To sum up, this community engagement model shows that quick response, transparency, and active engagement with stakeholders are key to restoring trust during a halal crisis.
In conclusion, Nestle Malaysia shows that trust can be restored through structured problem solving and ethical leadership. By being prepared for crisis, taking quick action, and staying transparent, the company was able to protect its halal brand image. Community engagement and clear communication also help rebuild consumer confidence and strengthen long-term trust.